Also, let's see here. Displaying Angry Bird style trajectory points, which is basically if you've ever wanted to launch an object sort of like Angry Birds. Here is a blog post, May 7th. Yeltsin put this out, and I don't know if you've checked out his blog before. Half code, halfdesign.wordpress.com. It is a good read, and he does a lot of great stuff, putting in animated GIFs and showing you videos, how things work, and kind of really breaks it all down. So if you're interested in any of that kind of stuff, go check out this blog post. We'll have a link in the show notes. As you can see here on the code, he's really broken it down and explained it. And I know that you would appreciate this because there's been times that we've had a hard time visualizing things, visualizing the code, and he did a really good job of doing that here in this blog post. So go check that out.
I took a quick look at that too, and it's worth noting. It's not the point of the article, but it gives an example of rolling your own gravity because he doesn't use the built-in physics library.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah, some of that stuff is always good. I mean, and we've had a discussion several times where people say they don't always use the physics engine for when they're developing a game, and so yeah, rolling your own gravity would be an interesting point.
Well, the problem with that from an Angry Birds type of thing is that you would likely use the physics engine to do the collisions.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if you can match up with your own rolled physics. Otherwise the trajectory wouldn't be accurate.
CP says here.
And you would use physics for when things start to collapse?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get into collision or any of the more advanced things, but I think just it's an interesting sort of side benefit.
Yeah.
And while you're there, I mean, check out all of his other blog posts too. He's got a lot of great stuff. You can see here on the right-hand side, it's got a lot of other in-depth examinations of how to do things. So go check that out, and follow him on Twitter. You can, you can keep up on all the new blog posts as they come out. All right. Speaking of keeping up on things, and Ed, I promise I'll be done here in just a minute. Fuse Powered has created a new channel over on YouTube. They don't have a short name for it yet. YouTube hasn't allowed us to create a friendly name yet, so we'll put a link in the show notes. But go over there and subscribe to the channel because they're adding lots of great stuff to the channel. There's been a new tutorial on how to add apps to the dashboard. So if you're new to Fuse Powered, you want to check it out. They have tie-ins for iOS and Marmalade and Chrome SDK is coming, and Unity and all this other stuff. So regardless of what platform you're on, you can use Fuse Power to monetize your apps. And this kind of gets you started by adding your app to the App Store and getting your API key and all that kind of stuff like that. And there's going to be more and more of these videos coming out as time goes by. Another good one is the game analysis of Mr. Jump. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but Evan P. over up in Canada, put this together and does a great job of breaking down the mechanics of the game, how the monetization works, and then making some recommendations of how maybe they might be able to increase their revenue just by making some changes. So if you're interested in the revenue side of the house, understanding how things work and what opportunities are available, go check this out. It's a great watch as well. And then if you're not already subscribed to the blog over on Fuse Powered, definitely recommend it. A lot of the articles there are not going to necessarily be Corona specific. They're going to be more generalized monetization stuff but it's a good place to kind of get in and understand the monetization aspects of app promotion, app development. So one of the recent articles was an introduction to push notifications, which is kind of isn't necessarily, again, the implementation of push notifications, but why you might want to use them and how they can be used to re-engage your audience. Because it's not just about building the game and trying to monetize it, but also how do you get those re-engage a player once they've kind of forgotten about your game. So that's a good read. Also, there's a new podcast out from Fuse Powered. which is already in the iTunes library that you can find. We'll put a link in the show notes. The very first episode, they did an interview with the developers of Tadpole Tap, and that was a good discussion as well because they talked about how they approached the game design and how they looked at monetization and all that kind of stuff like that. And they talked with Giz, who is the community manager at Outer Minds, and they talked about their app launch and how they got PewDiePie, who is hugely popular on YouTube, to play their game and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's a great read as well, or listen rather. And then there's also a blog entry over here on the 5 metrics every game should track. So if you're kind of into stats, which we all should be these days, this is a good read as well. So there's lots of great stuff over on the blog. Another blog post about the beginner's guide to player segmentation. Fuse Power is all about not only just delivering ads, but also kind of breaking up players into categories and being able to figure out, okay, can I deliver rewarded advertisements to people? Which ones do I need to focus on? Who takes action? All that kind of stuff like that. So it's good to get connected to that kind of stuff. And if you're not already on the mailing list, most of these things, and if not all of these things that I mentioned just a moment ago, are on the mailing list. So you get that once a week, once a bi-weekly, and you can kind of keep up with everything that's going on. Okay, I think that's it. Let me look at my notes here.